Hello, loved ones. This is Matt Stevens, and I hope you are well. I'm doing fantastic, actually. Except I was trying to make a video about a particular thing, and I realized this is probably something that some people might get a little bit butthurt over. And I mean, it's not that I'm not going to do it. I'm not trying to get in the business of being offensive and hurting anybody's feelings. That's all. And I am going to make the video because I think it's something that's important to say. But I am going to try to figure out a better way to deliver it. Just work on my delivery. But very similar to that, I would still like to talk about spiritual awakening. In that, a lot of people, well, I hear a lot of people say that there's so many people in the world these days that are having a spiritual awakening. Now, I would tend to agree, except like I started my spiritual awakening probably 10 years ago, ish, somewhere around there, and I would tend to agree with that there is a lot more, or there are a lot more people in the world having a spiritual awakening right now than used to be. Except I think, well, is that only because that's now my paradigm, so therefore I'm more aware of it? Meaning now that it's come into my spiritual awakening has come into my awareness. Am I now just more because I'm more aware of it, so therefore it would appear as though more people are it's happening more. Kind of like if you buy a red car, you start seeing a lot more red cars. Is that the case? I don't know. You know, but I do know that when we do begin a spiritual awakening, it's when we usually are at a tough point in our lives or at a transition point when we kind of look at at all of physicality. We look at our physical selves and our physical world around us, and we think, God, there's got to be more to it than just this. There's got to be more than what I'm seeing in front of me. So we do discover that we do have a higher self. We do have a spiritual self and immortal, that we are an immortal spiritual being. And we live outside of this. And we're kind of jacked into this body or this avatar, or some people even call it a meat suit, through the brain or the central nervous system or whatever, for the purpose of having this experience in this physical realm so that we can navigate and interact in it and have the experience and gain whatever lessons that we have come here to gain. But one thing that I have learned, regardless of whether it's a worldwide phenomena or not, is that a spiritual awakening is not an event. It's not we don't have an aha moment where we're like, oh, wow, I just spiritually awakened and here we are. It's not that. But it's also not a process. Meaning, a process implies that you go through a certain set of steps and at the end, there's your aha moment again. Where it's like, oh, well, okay, now I have arrived and I am spiritually awakened. No, it's not that. It's not an event, and it's not a process. What it is a state of being. When we begin to spiritually awaken, we enter a state of being which is awakening spiritually. But like I said, we never really get there. We continue awakening, and maybe on some higher level outside of this realm, okay, maybe we will become fully awakened. Maybe that's what our higher self is. But in this 3D or physical realm, no. I'm kind of reminded of, I guess, of a very famous quote from Buddha, in that it says, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. Because it's like you're never really there. You keep doing stay disciplined and keep doing what you've always known to keep doing. But then It's like we experience in this world a lot of hard times, and a lot of people have gotten to this point because of hard times or because of some transition or whatever. But most people aren't going to deny that there is a lot of suffering and a lot of pain and a lot of everything, in the world. And all of that is unfortunate, but it's not for nothing. I mean, it does serve the purpose of causing people to seek something higher, something bigger than themselves. Because if everything was just great all the time, life was just fantastic, we wouldn't seek outside ourselves. We wouldn't need to. Everything would just be great. We would just cruise on through life and whatever. So those hard times, all that suffering that you have been through in your life, that's not for no good reason. That has brought you to seek something bigger, to seek your true higher self. And in doing that, you learn a lot of amazing things. You learn, for one, that you are divine spark. You are an aspect of the Creator. And that reminds me of the other quote that I used, I don't know, a couple of podcast episodes ago from Rumi, where it says, you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. And what that means is that all of us don't add up as a fraction of the all or the Creator, or you call it God, whatever you want to call it. In the Kybalion, it's called the all. But we don't add up. We don't all kind of add up to make up the all. The all is in each and every one of us. The all is 100% in you for the purpose of having an experience. Now, it's like I could tell you what it's like to drive my car. I could give you a lot of detail and you would have a pretty good idea of what it's like to drive my car. But what would be even better would be to take you outside, put you in the car, and have you drive around the block. At that point, you would have firsthand experience of what it's like to drive my car. And that experience is far better than any description, anything I could build into your mind from descriptor. So that's what this is all about. That's not what it's all about. I mean, the Creator having the big I am moment, realizing it existed, began creating, and then, of course, wanted to experience its creation. And here you are. You are the Creator experiencing its creation from your point of view. And also, you have kind of, it's very important to I guess put the veil of forgetfulness, is what they say, or whatever, to not really, for you, for your mortal self, to not realize where you've come from or who you truly, your higher self, how truly powerful you really are. Because if you were to know that coming into it, well, then this wouldn't be much of a challenge. There would be nothing to really learn. There'd be nothing to experience. But by having your spiritual awakening, you do realize how powerful of a being you really are. And that by your own imagination, you can create whatever reality it is that you want. That's profound. But it takes all of this to make that happen. It takes all the suffering. It takes all of the pain and all of the bad things that have happened in our lives to get us to this point. Because we have to have the spiritual awakening. And then we have to seek something bigger than just this. And when we do, we find it. And then that's when it gets really good, right? That's when we get amazed and we realize, wow, this is pretty awesome. So anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, loved ones. yeah, the creator, I'm just checking my notes, making sure I didn't miss anything. The creator learning, discovering, and experiencing itself through you. And it's time. Anyway, loved ones, that's what I got. I am going to work on my delivery for that other one. Please, if you would, like and subscribe, share this video, whatever you're inspired to do. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I will be back. I will be back directly. That's what my granddad always said when I was a kid. I'll talk to you directly. Okay, granddad. Anyway, I'll be back. I love you, and I'll be back directly.